Welcome, everyone, to the 40th episode of the Boss Key Podcast. I'm your
Number
co-host,
40?
McQuack306, joined as always by my TMNT brother, Jebby G. How you doing, Jesse?
Good, Mr. McQuack. I'm doing amazing today. How are you?
Doing a lot better, man. Last week, sorry for our listeners, we cut it short. That was my bad. I lost the I lost the cable to the
The
recording
cable.
device to my laptop, and we were trying to run it real close. And battery said 5 minutes, but battery actually had only 5 seconds.
You have 5 minutes. Okay, we got 5 minutes. Let's go. Boom. It just dies
Pretty
right there.
much.
I was like, oh my goodness. I remember you were sending the messages saying, dude, my laptop died, bro. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I think everybody had to get rickrolled that time.
I was like, please God, let it safe. Please, Lord, let it be safe. That was my only thing. That we'd have to record it all over again. I was like, please, save. Please, please, please.
But luckily my laptop saved whatever we had recorded, and as soon as Jesse was about to reveal his score for the Bethesda showcase, it was just kind of like a rickrolled.
It's like, it was like a jab in there. Like it just stopped right there. Like, no, we're not going to tell you.
So we're sorry about that. Real quick, because we're gonna be moving on, but you didn't let the listeners know what's your final score, looking back at the showcase.
Okay, so going back to the showcase then. Never gonna. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, I was not gonna do it again. No. Okay. So as far as the Xbox showcase, the thing I was gonna give it like a really hard C plus B minus kind of detail because there was a lot of indie. I don't know too much about things that were going on. It kind of started hard for me, and it kind of started a little difficult for me. Now, when Diablo started getting announced, and a couple of the games that I knew about, and several of the games that we mentioned during the other show that actually took interest, that was during the later part of it. So there was a good, 45 minutes of, wow, I'm really sitting here in the computer for a lot of stuff, which I'm paying attention each and everything, but it was just it wasn't catching my interest, if you know what I mean. I wasn't glued. But C plus B minus, going for the C plus if I'm the harsher one, but it did still pass. Something did come out of it, so that was my grading on it. So what would your grade be on it on this time?
Thinking back on it, and a couple key details that you even mentioned right now, I would give this a show an A.
Okay.
On games itself, on showcasing games and gameplay, and kind of almost, I kind of dig the direction of, hey, everything you're gonna see here minus Kojima will be released in the next 12 months on Xbox. That gave us a perfect timeline of, okay, we should expect these in the next 12 months. The negative that I give this as a showcase itself, which was probably now set as a C minus, is the
C minus. You went even lower. C minus
is the actual, I guess, rhythm, flow, however you want to call it, of the actual show. It's kind of like, would you rather do two 45-minute shows where you split it and say, hey, this is our indies, these are our smaller titles, DLC showcase, and then here are our mega third-party, first-party games, and at least that way you're dedicating and you're making it known, hey, if you want to show up for the indies and you're excited for indies, this is the show to watch. And if you're into more of the third-party, bigger AAA titles like Diablo, these are the games. This is the showcase to watch. Tune in for this episode, for this showcase, because when you put them all together, it kind of makes it worse for the indies. A lot of people were like, okay, so is this all we're gonna see? Like what's going on? Oh, what is this game? Pretty interesting, but give me my big stuff, my heavy
Told you.
hitters, and then you get Diablo, and then that's when you go, okay, this is what I'm liking,
You get
and
awakened
now
by
you
that
just
one.
forget the last half hour that you just saw, because
All of it, like
all
almost
these
gone.
because all these other bigger titles overshadowed those smaller ones. So I think games.
Oh.
I think they nailed it. I think setting that it's gonna be next 12 months. I like that, but there should have been two separate shows. There should have been
Oh.
here are all the heavy hitters, and then here are the indie titles and DLC. You know, you're welcome to join us on either one or even both. Because at least when you're watching the indie showcase, you're not going to be thinking, "Oh, I hope they show off Diablo 4." No,
Dang.
it's more
No,
like,
no.
"Oh wow, that one looks interesting. Let me write that one down. Oh, that one looks interesting too." Oh, TMNT is
Yeah.
going to be on Game Pass day one. Awesome.
Ooh.
That's a big
Damn.
one.
Like, just go for it.
All these other games, they I think they took the attention off of them. So
I agree.
that'd be my final grade as a showcase, a C minus, C, and in
Games
terms
are
of showing games and everything else, an A.
okay. So you're right. As far as like all these games would be playable within a year. None of this like 2023. Excuse me. None of this 2024, 2025 coming soon. Like who knows when coming soon is? Coming soon could be like 10 years from now. In the case of like Duke Nukem Forever, like anything like that happens. But I agree. And you know what? Not only just two different shows, they could have done a mix. Maybe could have restructured the order of the games they put. So, like PlayStation Showcase, I'll just use an example. PlayStation State of Play, they started off with RE4. They went with the guns blazing from the start.
Like you're
They
already
knew this is gonna, dude.
like
Everyone's gonna
upright,
jump in that.
yeah.
Everyone's up there. So, maybe if they started with Diablo or started with TMNT, started with like something else, then maybe. But yeah, one long drawl of indie. If you loved it, great. Because you know what the risk when you do that, you risk the people leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Like there could be people that don't stay to the showcase. They're all like, dude, it's the first 30 minutes. And in today's time, you have to catch attention. Yes, you can't. You can't waste time.
Yeah. But
yeah, I agree with that. I 1000% agree with that grade.
Yeah. That's our grade for last week's episode. But moving on, what we're playing, Jesse, what have you been playing?
All right, I was gonna say Trek to Yomi, but of course Ninja Turtles comes out. So why the heck am I gonna play anything else when Ninja Turtle comes? Sorry, man, Ninja Turtles came out. It's gonna be playing that. I played a little bit even before the show started again. Just getting in TMNT. I downloaded it the minute I could right after class on Thursday night because I take classes Thursday evening. So I got home, I was washing dishes, but at the same time I got it to start downloading to get it ready. And then when it was done and I was playing, nostalgia wagon was turning over like 10,000 times. It was simple. Graphics were amazing. All the actions you can do. It even gives you like a little tutorial in the start to learn how to do everything, which is great. There's a map feature, story mode, which just starts off as story mode. I haven't played arcade mode yet because that's the one underneath it. But right now, just in story mode. Oh my goodness. I pick Leo as I always do. Blue. I always go with the Leo blue. Leonardo two swords, and of course now it gives you the stats that they all are. So I guess Leo's the most balanced of all of them. Like Splinter is very powerful but very slow. Donatello longest reach. Raph more power. But anyways, so with all these different characters and everything going on with this game, wow, I am on amazement. But I'm going to leave that for later to discuss more. But that's what I've been playing. I also tapped in a little bit of Quake because if anyone didn't know, today as this day, the 22nd of June, it's actually Quake's 26th birthday.
Oh, nice.
So,
happy birthday, Quake.
Yes. And I saw the video from John Romero, what he posted. Oh my god, to an amazing shooting franchise, one of the best from all time. Uh, had to play a little bit of it before the show again today too, right after I got off of work, just to remind myself why I love it on PC and on Xbox. So happy birthday to Quake again! And I recently just bought. I can't wait for this Friday. My Capcom fighting game collection is coming in.
Oh, nice.
Pre-ordered that, should be coming to my house on Friday. So all the Darkstalker series is going to be in that. Um, and Super Gem Fighter is going to be in that, which is where all the characters are like little chibis of, of themselves. They're little kid versions, but that is a fun game. So that is one that I'm really looking forward to. So Friday, I can't wait for that.
Should be a good Friday.
Friday, physical on Xbox. Let's go. So what have you been playing, sir? I bet you it's going to be the same thing, I think.
My list has been what we're going to be talking about today. I finished up Final Fantasy Crisis Core on the PSP. Again,
There you go.
Again. Loved it. Amazing. Can't wait for the remake on modern day consoles. Also been playing. I went back to Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS5. Okay. I'm playing on hard mode. I never play on hard mode. I never play like anything on a higher difficulty. I usually just stick to the default normal and just play there. But you know, with all the Final Fantasy hype, and I was like, you know what? Let me try to platinum this game. I've never platinumed a Final Fantasy game, and if I get this platinum, which I think I should be able to, that'll push me to get platinum on Final Fantasy Crisis Core, which is my favorite Final Fantasy, as well as the next part of Final Fantasy VII, which we'll be talking about as well. But also, finally, Tmnt.
Yes.
I beat it. I beat it last night.
Sweet.
Amazing game. Just everything pretty much everything. I'll echo everything that you said about it. Is the reason why I love TMNT Shredder's Revenge. I bought it on. I got it for Game Pass. It's on Game Pass, as well as I purchased a digital copy on Nintendo Switch. You know, you got to have it on the go, and then I'm gonna be pre-ordering physical copies on limited run games.
There you go.
I think I'm gonna be getting the Xbox physical one.
There we go.
Where it comes with like it comes in a case, like a VHS cassette case. Has stickers, I think, and a Pizza Hut coupon for free pizza.
Give me your pizza, man. I want your pizza.
So
pizza.
It's pretty cool.
Does it tell you what size? Does it tell you what size pizza they give you?
No, I don't. I wouldn't doubt if it's like a medium.
Medium.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I'll be.
I'll set off easy. Medium.
I'll use it if I don't have to use it. If that makes sense. If I don't have to give the dude my coupon, I'm like, hey, here it is, but can I keep it?
Like, that's right. Like, dude, have them scan it or something. Yeah. Oh no, dude, are you kidding me? They're not gonna ask for the coupon. You know, people are gonna collect that thing. I bet it will never get redeemed ever. I bet you, like, it will not.
We'll see. I haven't opened a single collector's edition limited runs yet. I have the Doom. I have the Doom one. I have the Scott Pilgrim one, and I should be getting the Castlevania really soon. But I haven't opened the prior one, so we'll see if I even open this one, given that I have it on Xbox already. But that's what
collecting. Collecting them, baby. Collecting them.
Yeah.
Seal them. Sealed. Sealed games.
But on to our next topic, which is a small one comparatively to the final one. But Final Fantasy has been in the news. They had a Final Fantasy showcase last week.
25th anniversary.
Yeah, celebrating the 25th anniversary specifically of Final Fantasy VII. They showcased, a couple stuff, a couple merchandise items, but mainly the games and the two main games that we'll be talking about. The first one being Crisis Core. I think they're calling it Reunion, which is like a remastering of the PSP entry, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core.
So It's not Rebirth. Rebirth is going to be the next gift, the third game in the collection.
No, it's Rebirth is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
Gotcha. Okay,
And
there
then
you go.
Reunion is Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Remaster.
Okay,
Thank you,
which is
Square Enix for the weird, naming and not just saying
it's
Part
gonna be
2.
like Kingdom Hearts all over again.
Yeah,
We're gonna have all these names.
2.8 Fragmentary Passage, Rebirth.
We're gonna get 3, 5, 6 days over sleep and
by
like all
100
this.
days.
Ugh.
With Dream Drop Distance because that's 3Ds because it was on a 3DS. Oh my god.
Revengeance.
Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Revengeance.
Vengeance. There you go. Raiden's coming in. I swear he's gonna come in with a suit and he's gonna take care of business. But yeah, not all this naming motion. As you can see, I've just tried to get the names of it again. It's gonna happen all over again. And the same thing happened with Kingdom Hearts. It's got the weirdest naming convention ever.
Yeah. So the first one, Crisis Core. Do you know anything about it, Jesse? About Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core?
I will not lie, I have not. I do not know much. I know it's the prequel, but that's all I know as far as I go.
So Crisis Core is the PSP game that came out like in 2007.
Okay.
You're right; it is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, and it basically takes place about 5 years before the FF7 game. And
How many years before did you say?
Huh?
How many years before did you say?
About 5 years.
About 5 years before. Okay.
Yeah, and it basically takes place. The main protagonist is Zack Fair,
Okay.
my favorite Final Fantasy character, and basically his story on his side and what happened in the events that led to FF7. Before it wasn't really that, I guess, important because I mean it's a prequel, so it's not like it's trying to put things together like, oh, what happened here, what happened there. No, FF7 you can still play it and play it as is, and it's still masterful. But playing Crisis Core, it's actually pretty good the way they do it. It's one of my favorite prequels. But the way they do the storytelling along with the gameplay is really cool. They did more action oriented as opposed to turn based.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter as much, but because of FF7 Remake and the stuff that Square Enix has done for that game, it's pretty much gave it a reason to be actually important this time. I'm trying not to spoil FF7 or the remake because it's still genuinely like new. It's in the last 2 years, and some people are going to be wanting to wait. Hopefully, and for some dumb reason, which we'll talk about, the Part 2 remake isn't coming to Xbox, but Crisis Core Reunion is coming to PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, and Xbox. But they're not getting FF7 remake.
Right, like you're deliberately missing the Part 2 for some reason. You're deliberately missing it.
Yeah. So
why? What is the holdup with this version? What is Sony doing that's holding this one and not Crisis Core? Well, why this one? Why is it holding that one? Just saying.
That I don't know, man. It's something that a lot of people have been asking as well, and it doesn't make sense. So, Crisis Core Reunion, that's supposed to come out in spring, next spring. So it's going to be next year, and I'm hyped for that. I'm excited for that game since it is my favorite Final Fantasy. I'm really excited for that. Like I said, it's coming out on every console. It looks like they haven't changed much of it except for the actual updated graphics, which look amazing. I just wanted a port I would have been fine with just like a regular 1080p. Here's a PSP game on your big screen TV, and that would have been it. But they're actually remastering it, and it looks really cool. The only thing I have a weird one off is that they changed the voice actor. Um,
Oh, they did.
yeah, they changed the voice actor. It's a hit or miss for me. As long as I'm getting.
Do you already know what the new one sounds like?
Yeah. He talks,
Okay.
and that's how we know that it's a different voice actor because he talks. But to me, it's one of those like I think if I keep playing it, like 1 hour in, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's how the other one used to sound like, or it's one of those like I'll get used to it. It's not gonna kill the game for me at all. It's not like even then I was like whatever with Metal Gear Solid with Keith Sutherland voicing
Oh
Snake.
yeah, replacing David Hayter.
Yeah,
That was out of random. I was like, what?
yeah.
Like that's like and they had, correct me if I'm wrong, they had David Hayter for Ground Zeroes.
No.
Or no, that was Keith
Yeah.
Sutherland too. Okay, never mind. So yeah, no, they just switched them, and it's always a dispute or something happened contractually wise, financially
Yeah.
wise. Something happened to remove David Hayter as the voice, but to me, like David Hayter just seems David Hayter is just Snake to me. Period. It's like the voice of Mario to me is Mario, and I don't know how in the world Chris Pratt's going to sound like as Mario. Like everyone is wondering, and the director has been tweeting out that you cannot wait to hear him. He's going to sound just fine. Like they're going to say like he's doing just fine for like the voice. But I don't know, man. Mario's very iconic. Like it's a me, Mario,
He's gonna be
and
like, it's me, Mario.
you know what? I low key kind of want that to happen because I just want to see the reaction people get when they hear that. Hi, I'm Mario.
Super cringe.
It's gonna be like he's gonna talk like I gotta think of the way like Star-Lord talks. It's me, Mario. Like stuff like that. What's going on? But like no, it needs to be.
It's like that one scene is like I'm Star-Lord, and they're like, who? And he's gonna be like, it's Mario.
It's Mario.
It's me, Mario.
We will find out. We will find out. We will see.
The next one that we also mentioned earlier too is FF7 Rebirth, which is basically Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. They showed a little bit of it. It looks like we're getting I mean this is part from Final Fantasy VII, but basically it shows Cloud and Sephiroth. It looks like Nibelheim that they're visiting, which is a town that completely changes and alters the entire course of the story. So looks really cool, looks expansive. They just showed a little bit of it, and they announced that it's coming out I think next year. So,
but this one's also just on PS5 and just on PlayStation and PC, or just PlayStation.
Just PlayStation. This is coming out for PS5 only. So basically, next year is the year of Final Fantasy. Given that we're getting Crisis Core Reunion, we're getting Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then we're also supposed to be getting Final Fantasy 16. So a lot of Final Fantasy. I'm excited. I just wish that FF7 Remake would actually go onto Xbox, given that they're also getting Crisis Core. But
it's like, okay, I want to play the next game, and it's, man, I'm going to say it twice. This is the Kingdom Hearts thing where you got to go to another console to play a game that you want to continue playing. So how did that work for Kingdom Hearts?
It's kind of weird. It's kind of like like they expect people to buy on Xbox, but then it's like, well, you're not going to give them the other one, so why would you buy a game, a prequel, when you won't have access to the next two games?
Right? Like, and you don't even make it on Game Pass. Like, you don't even have to do that. Just make it available, period. There'll be plenty of people who buy it. Like, there's a lot of people who just buy it. And if people would have been upset it's not on Game Pass, well, like, you know what? Maybe that's a title they don't want for it. Well, Final Fantasy VII Remake on Game Pass would still be amazing, but if they don't have to, they don't want to, just make it available, make it work. But no, people are getting shunned out of it again, and so many people were trying to call it and make it happen. But I know we're getting Persona, but Final Fantasy just has a bigger heart. I think a bigger fan base. I may be wrong. please don't crucify me if I'm wrong. Like it might have a bigger one than Persona.
You're not wrong to
okay,
think that
okay.
just because of the sales of like Persona compared to Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy trumps Persona by a long shot, just because it's just more widely known. You know,
it's been around forever. It's been around Final Fantasy since if anyone has played it from the NES, 1 has been good. Someone actually tweeted, "I really wish this happens." The pixel perfect versions, like the remake. Oh, if those came out on the consoles, that would be sweet.
Yeah, I'm not even buying that on mobile because I want that on Switch and PlayStation and Xbox.
Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, great. I'm not buying. I never bought anything on the PC yet either. Like none of those games. And like, dude, if those came out on console, that'd be cool to play the original Final. And I still have. I can play 3 on my 3DS. I have that, but yeah, you're in a final. 2023 is going to be Final Fantasy year. It's going to be a lot of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. And those were like the main news for Final Fantasy. What we're moving on to next is more personal, more of our nostalgia for the past. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jesse. What is the IP? What does the franchise mean to you, JBG?
Ooh. What the franchise means to me, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is definitely a very early childhood action figure collectathon and VHS collection that I had back in the day, the Easter specials and like everything TMNT. It's one of those super earliest childhood heroes that I've ever had in the early 90s. I've had collections even before just the video games themselves. The cartoon was always something that was always beloved to me. Leo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, everyone, Master Splinter, everyone was just amazing in that show. April O'Neil, the Shredder, Rocksteady, and Bebop. Most bumpkin of bumpkin minions that you can think of the entire time. And then, so for me, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 1, I'm always a Leonardo. I am a blue double katana sword type of guy. I liked him the most out of all of them. But something from the show itself, it's just something that in video game form, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was actually one of the first video games I ever played in my life. Because when I first got a Nintendo NES, first 2 games I got was Super Mario and Super Mario Brothers, and not the first game, but I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3: The Manhattan Project.
Okay.
So I had that one. That's one of my first video games ever. I will get to play it again when it comes out in the Cowabunga collection.
Yes.
End of the year, I think it is, or beginning of next year. So I will get to play it again then, because this game is so old, and I've had such young memories with it. I don't have many memories with it. It's a long time ago. I was a little kid when I was a little kid when I played this game. I do remember that the first level is a beach level. I do remember the first level is a beach level. Of course, I have YouTube videos, and then I remember there is a surfing level as well. But then the one that connected with me the most was, of course, the Super Nintendo almighty classic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time.
Yeah,
now
that one was like still one of my favorites to this day. Like favorite Super Nintendo games, early memories of the Turtles is that game.
It is a game where anyone in the world can pick this up and play it. Anyone in the world can. And I feel, from my opinion, this game, people will stop to play it. Like, they won't even give it a second guess. Like, they will go. The only other game I can think of that has that type of appeal is maybe the Simpsons arcade game.
Yeah.
If people saw the Simpsons arcade game, they probably maybe would do the same thing. But Turtles in Time and the Super Nintendo version is actually just as good or almost as good as the arcade. That was the other big thing about it. The thing they made about this game, it was the music and the music, the animations, everything almost like the arcade feel. And guess what? They give you a better version of it. They give you, because the Super Nintendo version actually has different bosses compared to the arcade version. Now, I played the arcade version in the future, when emulators were starting to be a thing. So, yes, everyone in the world did emulators. Everyone played arcade. Everyone played arcades. Everyone line-wired everything and found out how to do it. Everyone knew how to do it, and everyone was doing it. Yes, it was not legal, but it doesn't matter. Everyone's done it. It's not as popular now. Well, no, excuse me, it's more popular now, but that's how I played it.
Podcast does not condone emulating.
Yes, do not emulate. Just saying what we did in the past. We did it in the past. I don't have an emulator now. So
you get an FBI knock at your door.
I know, right? It's gonna be like, Senor, what are you doing? What did you say? Nothing. No emulation. What is that? I don't even know. But no. But there are two different versions, more bosses, and that was the one I had. I never owned the official game, but when Dina Video used to be a thing, you remember what Dina Video was? I think I told you already.
Yeah, Downey. That's on Stewart and Gray.
Yes, Stewart and Gray Old River. But now it's something else. Unfortunately, it's actually gone now.
Yeah,
but
I drove past there.
I remember they held on to that thing for a long time, even during streaming and everything. Now it's a mattress store.
Yeah.
Whoa. So
I haven't seen a video store in a long time.
Yeah, no, they're gone. They're gone now. It's like I can't think.
I'm like trying to think, and I'm like, I don't think there are. Like, even red boxes are kind of few and far between now, just because of how easy it is to just stream.
So I used to rent that game a lot from that place, and that was a one-day rental place. So I rented from there many a times, and my mom was at some point saying like, "Mijo, I can't rent this game again." And then, of course, you figure out the beauty of Blockbuster in the future, but that's for another story. That's another time.
And that was like $3.50 or $5 a night. It wasn't cheap.
I know. I love that game, man. And to think, you know what? My kid brain couldn't come up with a device to tell them, if you bought it for me, I would just keep it forever and stop renting. I couldn't put it together, man. I was a kid. I couldn't. But anyways, with the bosses, with everything about that game, it is perfect with friends, by yourself. I also played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, the original one. I used to play that at my friend Michael's house all the time. He had an SNES version. I played it there. And then after that, my the Turtle Rage kind of went down since past that. So I didn't super get into the Turtles in the 2000s and when Nickelodeon started taking it over with it, which great. I'm glad that they did, because they brought it back for a new generation. Yeah. That's sweet. And I heard the animated series in the 2000s was actually really, really good as well. Like the one that's a little more edgier, like a little darker than I was used to the super cartoony one with the big like pupil eyes.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm used to, and I'm used to the Shredder. Like, I will dine on turtle soup tonight, like Urokusaki. That's the one I'm used to, and I hold Ninja Turtles in my heart a lot too, because when I was a kid, really young kid, I'll give a little last story about the Turtles. When I was a really young kid, I remember. Do you remember the streets? Paramount, and what's that street right before See's Candy? I forgot.
Oh,
before? Like it's like a four-way street.
It's not Firestone.
No. It's Paramount, And then
Going to the 5.
heading towards the 5, yeah.
Yeah.
So right after you pass See's Candy, there's that first street right there before you go into all the houses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that street. I don't know the
Okay,
name, but I
so
know the street.
yeah. So right there. So I was in the truck with my dad. This was his blue Datsun,
Okay.
and I remember like we were going down, and the person missed the red light and hit the side of the car, T-boned the car on my side. So of course we were both like freaking out. Me and my dad were freaking out, and afterwards, like I was okay, like nothing happened, to either of us, but it's still something like shakes you up. And the lady missed the red light. What the heck? Like,
yeah.
So, and then I was genuinely like getting upset about it, and everything was pissed off at me. And I remembered that my mom and dad, they got me a Ninja Turtle toy.
Oh, nice.
And that was the thing that kind of, I guess, either they wanted to make it up, like make me feel better or help me out. So it was I definitely got a Ninja Turtle at that time. It was a Leo, and I believe it was like the one that can like configure into a turtle itself, I think, if I remember correctly. If I remember, they gave me the toy.
Oh, nice.
And that was just something like my mom and dad were just thinking like just try to help out. And I was into Ninja Turtles a lot at the time, so they gave me that. So there's a little turtle love from something that happened, from a scary situation to a different situation. When you're T-boned on your side, dude, that's scary. That's a scary hit. That's not a, like, as a young kid, you don't expect it, and it was a scary time then, but it was made better by that. So Turtles for me, so Reshelled for me is actually an amazing game because it brings back everything that was from the past. I never played the Reshelled version of Ninja Turtles, the one that came out for PS3. Yeah, not that one. I never played that one.
Okay.
I never played the Turtles in Time Reshell, the PS3 one. You have it, okay? So when I heard it was like mixed. Like some people like it and some people like were okay with it.
I like it. I like with what they were trying to do because it was like a direct, like a remastering. But at the time, I understood why they did it that way, just because they felt like, hey, let's remaster a classic and just bring it up to modern day graphics, like 3D graphics and stuff like that. But for me, I felt like it didn't need it. I felt like the classic Turtles is like the pixel art, the Super Nintendo type. Maybe even have better physics, of course, and better animation. But I think the pixel art works best for the Turtles as opposed to like what they were trying to do with the 3D. In my opinion on that one. But I actually did like that one, and luckily I do own it on the PS3 before they took it out. And I played I think I played last year when I hooked up the PS3. I was like, hey, I got Turtles in Time. Or I got a Reshelled. Let me try this one out. And yeah, I mean, it was good. It was decent, I'll say.
There you go. It was cool. Yeah, it's alright.
It was cool.
It was cute. I don't mind.
For me, Turtles, since I was a kid, I had a, I guess I sucked at talking as a kid. I had to go to speech therapy and stuff like that, so it was more phrases that I would say as opposed to words. So and those phrases always tend to lean on what I saw on TV, which was basically catchphrases or the slogans. So McDonald's, their slogan at the time was McDonald's today. So I would talk to my mom and say, Donald Day, like I want McDonald's today. Or, Burger King. Theirs was have Burger King now, so mine would be booking now. And my mom, booking now for Burger King now. And my mom tells me that when I was younger too, that I'd get excited and I'd run into like her, the kitchen or whatever. I'd be like, talas. which was the Ninja Turtles. But I couldn't say all that, so I would just say the last.
Last. Okay.
I had like these. I called them Rafts, or Raphael's slippers, but I guess they were all the same color slippers. They were all red because at the time they all had red bandanas, like the super early ones, And so I had that one, and I guess that's why I always liked Raph, because I always felt like he was the original turtle. He was like the OG one, the one that didn't have to change. But love the cartoon, love the intro to that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, one of those
Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Classic.
That one was classic. Like it's just one of the they just have to say the name and that's it. Even though there's other lyrics to it, but loved it. Loved the first memory I had was with the Ninja Turtles game was Turtles in Time.
Nice.
At the time, my uncle, my grandma actually owned the cartridge. They actually
save
had
money,
it.
Man.
Yeah, that's the thing. I love going to grandma's house because she actually had them. They didn't.
Yes.
She would had. She would probably have like maybe 5 games per console. As I grew up, and somehow she always had the best 5 games.
Yes.
I spoke about an early OG episode about the 7-Up spot.
Yeah.
And for Super Nintendo.
Cool spot.
Cool spot, and she had that one. But one of the ones that she also had was Turtles in Time, and I just remember always starting a new game, and I played the first level like I don't know how many times, like Big Apple, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I love that game so much as and I didn't know the buttons. I just knew the jump button and the attack. So whenever the turtle would actually grab the foot soldier and start throwing them around, I don't know how I did that, but that was cool. So that one was
you got
cool.
me thinking about the game so much now. Now you're talking about the memories of the game. You're making me think about Big Apple, 3 a.m. And you're thinking about all the sounds that game made. That's how iconic the game is. If you know the sounds of it, till this day, till my 35-year-old butt knows all the sounds from this game from beginning to end. It's like, dude, it's a. What do they say now? This game slaps. Is that what it says now? This game slaps. It's lit.
It's bussin'.
This is the bomb. This is good. And
I was asking my wife. I'm like, do they still say tight? That's tight. And she's like,
dude, I said that word a while.
She's like,
tight.
Stop talking. I'm like, oh. Okay.
It's like I can imagine her going on your shoulder, be like, "Oh, honey, it's okay."
I'm like,
don't say anything else. I'm like, what? What did I say? I didn't do anything wrong, did I? What's going on?
I'm like, hey babe, I just beat the new Turtles game last night. Oh yeah, how was it? It was tight. It was what?
It was what? I mean, it was lit. Okay, it was lit. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. I was like, yeah, it was litty.
And then you turn around. It was tight. You say it under your breath. It was dope. They just say it was dope.
The dope is dope.
This is the dopest game of all time. Oh man, you got me thinking about the boss scenes.
It was like the fly scientist.
Baxter Stockman, the first one. Oh my god, that machine. The second boss was the one with the robot arms.
Yeah.
It would fire the arms, and then the turtle that was the prehistoric turtle, Slash, I think he's called.
Yeah.
That was a cool boss.
I like pretty much those games, and then the movies.
Movies.
I could go without bringing up part 3.
There wasn't a third movie. What are you talking about? There's no such thing.
Exactly. But
there was 2 movies.
The first one and then the Secret of the Ooze. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
which one's my favorite because any day I can just flip a coin and be like, "Yep, that's my favorite." The first
That's
one
true.
was so dark and
Yeah.
gritty, and I think the close. I haven't read the comics, but from what I've heard, I think that was the closest to the comics because of how dark it was, and death and stuff like that, and Raph
Mm-hmm.
almost spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, but Raph almost dies, and all the turtles are like, how they feel, especially Leo. I just love that feel of the first movie, and then the second movie, of course, a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more,
Very lighthearted, the second one, but
child
not in a bad
friendly.
way. Not
Yeah,
in a bad way. It's good. It's still good. I think maybe. I mean, I can't prove it, but maybe they got a little tiny bit of backlash for it being too dark. So maybe the producers maybe thought like, okay, we got to lighten it up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe just maybe.
yeah. Like if anything, the first one was right there to rated R, and the second one was like, okay, this is PG-13 max.
Got some
But
Vanilla
that
Ice action in there. Go
yeah,
ninja, go ninja, go ninja,
and
go
that's why I got a
ninja.
PG-13. No.
And that why. And oh my god, the best line from that whole movie. They're babies. They're babies. Tokar and Razor. Get up.
I love that movie, man. I think that's one of the movies that I can genuinely just repeat every like say the line because I know
Mhm.
each line.
There you go. It's
You
so
know,
called Super Shredder.
like it's Kino, open up. They got Raph. Come on. Like I love that movie. Those two. No, and I also saw the later movies, like the one that you were talking about, where they got like it was still 3D graphics. I think it came out like in 2008, and it was just called TMNT.
Okay, I did see that one. The first time they tried to they redid the Turtles, right?
Yeah, it was like a reboot.
Okay, it was a reboot. I did see that one. I didn't see the second one, Book of Shadows.
No, I didn't see the Book of Shadows. I saw the first one. I loved that one, and then Michael Bay came in and he rebooted it once again,
Oh
but
wait,
for the live action.
I thought we were. Oh my bad. I thought that's what we were talking about. No, no,
No.
no. So, oh no, the TMNT, the Nickelodeon version, that was really good. According to a lot of people, they said that
Yeah.
cartoon was really, really good.
I even went to the theaters to watch that one. That's how
Oh, okay.
excited I was, and I actually did like it. But
So now
the
you're going back to Michael Bay
Michael
as
Bay,
okay, that's the movie I'm talking about. That like I saw the first one, but I didn't see the second one, Book of Shadows. I didn't see I didn't see the
actually
sequel to that movie.
okay. Now I remember the title. Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
I have. I think that was the first 4K movie I bought. Was
Book of Shadows
Yeah,
or the
Book of
first
Shadows,
movie?
the second
Book
one.
of Shadows. Was that movie good? I didn't see it.
I can't remember it.
Oh, that tells me a lot. That actually
Yeah.
tells me quite a bit.
Yeah,
Like
so
the thing I do remember is they put Rocksteady and Bebop in that movie.
yeah, which was like the wrestler.
Yeah,
Sheamus was Sheamus was in that movie.
I remember those two because they turned them into officially there, and then like oh my god, a lot of people just were not loving the redesigns of the turtles. They were just looking too beefy, like they're just huge humongoloid turtles.
I didn't mind.
Huh?
I didn't mind because
Yeah.
like okay, they're mutated. They're not gonna be super small or like human sized. I just figured okay, at least the bigger they are, the more stuff that they can take. More damage or more harder hits. And I was just hoping for okay, if these turtles are big, how is Super Shredder gonna look like? Like that dude has to be massive.
They didn't use Super Shredder for that one. I think it's the
No.
Shredder, but man, did I get a Transformers vibe the entire with the Shredder? Like you know what? Do you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying when I'm saying
Yeah.
that? Like this is definitely Michael Bay's influence on this movie. Like yeah, it's. I mean, it was cool, and then you also have April O'Neil being played by Megan Fox.
Yeah. I think they also changed the story a bit on
Mhm.
like Megan Fox and or April O'Neil and how she knows the turtles. That
Mhm.
one, I was like, okay, you guys get some liberty. Like, try to make it, your own, right? So, the only thing I had an issue with, the only thing is probably a very small nitpick,
Hmm.
but I did not want to see the turtles without their bandanas.
Oh.
They showed Mikey without the bandana, and it just looked weird. And he was just like, in the movie, he's like, okay, okay, I'll put it on, I'll put it back on. But yeah, the movies were good. They were decent. They were serviceable, but they don't match up to the originals, and that could be nostalgia talking. I don't care
Nope.
because
Doesn't matter.
I prefer practical effects over CGI, and
Yeah.
I know I just compared like bigger turtles, they can do more damage than human sized turtles, but at least with the human sized turtles, like I don't know, it's weird to say, but it'd be more grounded in reality.
Mm,
You know,
there you go. Yes, it would.
the Michael Bay was like extreme Transformers like.
Yep.
Um,
Explosions everywhere, of course, because it's
yeah,
Michael Bay.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be one of those like you leave your brain at the door when you watch it. But the
There's
TMNT,
some,
more specifically the first one, that was like real. Like you actually felt for Leo as the leader, and that Raph pretty much almost died, and I think that brought them together to fight Shredder, even though they got their butts kicked on the rooftop.
oh my gosh, the Shredder was bossing him. That whole part, like once he showed up, it was almost over for the Turtles.
Yeah, but of course, Master Splinter, and of course Casey Jones with the oops, and
Oops.
takes care of
Into
the
the
Shredder.
trash compactor. Into the trash compactor. That's the end of the almighty Shredder. There you go. It's over. He falls over a roof. But okay. That's how it is. I'm just kind of hoping for a more, since it's a darker movie, a polar, more additional, more fighting, anything. But that's okay. That's just personal opinion, of course. But it did leave the best line ever. Whoops! Like you
Oops.
just set them off.
So yeah, the first movie was darker. Second movie
Uh,
more comedic, more family friendly, but
and
still
and
doesn't take
speaking,
away.
yeah, and then speaking of Shredder getting screwed over, the second movie, how they just got rid of him. He had him collapse the building on top of him.
It's so hard. It's so hard, I guess,
You
to.
lo- you you lost a chance to use Super Shredder more. You could have used him way more.
Yeah,
But
and
anyways,
that was played by Kevin Nash too, the wrestler, and
by the way, like they gave him a role, and I guess they said, "Well, you can't really fight in the movie, I guess, even though he's a pro wrestler."
that would have been cool to see, but
Right? Like anything else
like
except having the dock fall on top. It can't hold it anymore. Like whatever, can't take it anymore.
like I love the turtles, but if I would have seen Super Shredder like chokeslam two of them, that
Dude.
that would have been everything. A suplex, an F5, anything maybe
Mind blown.
a,
Mind blown.
a spear, that would have been cool. But that's how it ended. I think I still feel like they're both, depending on the day, they're tied for my favorite.
Maybe it was like a Fabergé egg costume and they couldn't do anything to it. So we're just gonna do this to
It's
them.
like don't lift your arms
Don't.
this height. Don't once you get this height, don't move your arms.
The budget only has one costume for us, so if you ruin this costume, there's no movie. So you better do everything right. I mean, that's the only reason I could think of they did it like that. But yeah, not great. But not great ending. But still, regardless of how our opinions are about the final battles, both movies are fantastic. If you have not seen them yet, I don't care if we did a spoiler on you for how it ends, whatever. Like, good guys usually win sometimes. So just have a watch of both of them. You will love both of these movies.
Yeah, and last final thought on the TMNT. Play Shredder's Revenge. It's
Yes.
it's amazing. I just beat it yesterday. one of my favorite games of this year. It's probably up there with Elden Ring, which I've already said. Completely different games, but love them for different reasons. Supports up to 6 players. Um, it's just good. Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's $25, so it won't break the bank that bad. But it makes me look forward to the Cowabunga collection. Like Jesse said, I think when that releases, I think I'm just going straight to Turtles in Time.
That's gonna be the first game.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the first game I pick. Now, are you gonna go with arcade or are you gonna go with SNES?
SNES. I
SNES.
got to relive because I played that one more on the SNES.
Okay, that is true. That is true. But I will play the arcade version too more. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to play the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game on NES, which I heard is the most infamously hard game of all time or something. Difficult. It's like, that's hard. So that will be when the collection comes out.
And with that, it's our final segment of the show. It is our boss pick of the week. And we got Jesse to finish off the show. What do you got for us, dude?
All right, so I am going to stay in our turtly mood. we're gonna be talking about turtle soup, my favorite. So my boss pick of the week is, who the heck are we gonna talk about on Ninja Turtle Week but the Shredder? I mean, come on. He is the arch villain of the Ninja Turtles. But of course, being the Boss Key podcast, we got to be specific here because we got to have a video game boss. We only had one time where it was like a different from video game, Kaiba back then with Yu-Gi-Oh! So the boss that I'm picking, the specific shredder that I want is, yes, I'm going again with Turtles in Time, but in Turtles in Time, you fight the Super Shredder as the final boss of that game. Almost everyone who's played this knows which one I'm talking about. Interesting fun fact, if you didn't know, the arcade version and the reshelled version has the regular Shredder as the final boss with the katana, with the sword. But the Super Shredder is the final boss of the Super Nintendo version. Now, the reason they did this is because there was a difference with the levels where you played the Technodrome a lot earlier than you're supposed to in the Super Nintendo. It's like right before you go into the prehistoric dinosaur age. Okay. So you're already in the Technodrome. And funny, I could even throw in an honorable mention. There's a Shredder boss where he's actually behind the controls trying to like grab you. Do you remember that boss? He's trying to like grab you, and the way you beat him is by throwing the minions at him.
Which one? How does the boss look like? Is he the
So the Shredder is in front of the screen, and he has like a grabby claw. He's trying to grab you with the claw. And then you're supposed to take the Foot Clan soldiers and throw them at the screen.
Is this in the SNES version?
Yes, it is in the SNES version.
I'll tell you this: I didn't get far in the SNES version, dude. What? Remember when I said, "Oh, I replayed that mission so many times."
You didn't get past Big Apple 3 AM.
I was like 5. Five, and I think I got to 3 levels. I think I got to 3 levels before like we would die.
You got killed at the Rat King.
Yeah,
with the boat. Hey, that was a pretty hard one though. No kidding. That was actually that one. I'm telling you, I was 5, and we had 4 other games. We play like until we die, and we're like, okay, time for cool spot. All right. So then allow me to fill you in on this. So you fight Shredder once in the Technodrome, which is actually right after the level you're talking about. So actually, if you would have made it to the next level, would have been that one. So you actually have to throw. You know how the turtles, which oh my god, thank God this is a feature in Shredder's Revenge, where you throw the foot soldiers at the screen. That's like the best way to kill them. So you do that, but you have to do that to damage the Shredder, which is awesome. Like that's how you deplete his health bar. And then when he dies, he just goes down, and then that's when you go in time. So fast forward to the end of the game, you face off against a Super Shredder. So he is, instead of like a katana wielding blade like swinging, he's actually teleporting around, and he's firing different depending on what color He glows for a second. He either shoots a fire on the floor or he shoots like ice in the air to grab you, and he's teleporting around. Oh my god! And you have the Statue of Liberty in the background because that's the thing you're going after the entire time, the Statue of Liberty, to put it back. But the Super Shredder for me is one of those kid bosses again that it took a while to get there. It's easier to get there with friends, but it's definitely one of the more memorable bosses. This is how you do a Super Shredder battle, not like Kevin Nash get killed immediately, like as soon as it goes. So the thing is the fire attack, and I'll tell you the sounds that you remember from this game. Oh, my toe, my toe, my toe!
Yeah.
Like anytime you get slapped, anytime you get any type of damage from like your foot, that always happens if you get hit there. But no, I am picking the Super Shredder, and my favorite version of him is the one that is voiced by Uncle Phil when he used to voice the Shredder back in the days.
Oh yeah. Oh,
He
dude,
did.
when you just said that, it clicked.
Yes.
Oh my god. I didn't know that.
James Avery is the voice of the Shredder.
Yeah,
also
I remember
known
that
as
deep voice. That
yeah, like
Turtles.
turtles. like Philip. James Avery.
Oh,
Uncle
that's
Phil.
crazy. That makes me appreciate that character even more so.
Yes, he provided that legendary '80s version of him. Now, of course, the '80s version is more of a bumbling. He's still an evil guy, but he's more of like a bumbling, mumbling Shredder. He's not like as menacing as his movies and the comic was, or his later series. But it's still, to me, the most iconic. And the Super Shredder for me in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, is my boss pick of the week. That is an awesome boss.
Well, dude, I can't wait to actually get to that boss this time as an adult when I get the Cowabunga collection, because like I said,
let's go. I will take you to the promised land, sir.
Like I said, I only know that those like first 2-3 levels because that's as far as me and my uncle got as kids. But yeah, I can't wait to play this because I just beat TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, and I'm riding on that Turtles high. I want that Cowabunga collection already.
Let's go. Dude, but the thing is, that game is coming out so late, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is it, like August?
They said August, and then on Amazon, it's saying like literally like 2023 or something, like beginning of the year. I'm like, what the heck? Like, when is this thing coming out?
Okay. Well,
I need to know like an official release date. Come on, guys.
There's plenty of games right now, but specifically, play Shredder's Revenge. I think that game does it justice, and it's probably the best game in a long time that has the Turtles in it.
You know what I hope this did do? I'm not saying that the genre is dead, but the beat 'em up genre just got revitalized again.
It made me want to. I re-downloaded Streets of Rage 4 because I played that like maybe 2 years ago when it came out on the Switch, and it made me re-download it. So I have that one downloading as well, and I was looking up all the other beat 'em ups. Like, okay, what other ones? Oh, Scott Pilgrim. Let me re-download that one too.
There you go.
I really like that. I really like when a game comes out, and you're like, "Wow, that was really cool. Let me check out this other game." That's what I'm hoping too. For kind of off topic, Persona comes out on Xbox Game Pass, and then people try it and they're like, very artistic. I love the jazzy music. I'm getting into the role play. What other games are there that are like this? Oh, there's Dragon Quest on Game Pass. Let me try that out. Oh, there's Octopath. Let me try that out.
The gateway, as they say, like the gateway game.
Yeah,
like
you only need one game. You only need one game to introduce you to the genre, or to reintroduce you to the genre. A lot of people may be like, "Oh, I don't like JRPGs." Do you like Pokemon? Oh, I love Pokemon. That's a turn-based JRPG.
Oh, you do? Well, guess what? That's a JRPG. That's
Persona is like Pokemon, but instead of monsters, they're demons, and instead of gyms, it's a high school. And they're like, oh,
high school gym. Okay.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I'm excited for the Cowabunga collection. I'll be jumping on Turtles in Time.
Well, that'll be purchased for sure by
That's
me
the
too
first one.
immediately when it comes out.
All right, well, that's it for the show. Thank you for getting this far. Thank you again, Jesse, for joining me this week. Another cool episode.
Thank you, guys. Oh, you mean this amazing episode? This Cowabunga episode?
Radical.
Extreme. This show was dope.
Tubular. Yeah, it was tight.
It was tight, man.
The show was tight.
I don't know why, but you got me like now thinking of like Tuco from Breaking Bad. Whoa! Oh, tight, yeah, tight.
Oh my god! I love that character, man. But yeah, thank you again for sticking with us to the end, and we'll see you guys on the next week's episode of the Boss Key Podcast.
Some pizza right now. Order Domino's Pizza, whatever you want. Get it. Get it now.
Later, you guys.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Boss Key Podcast with your hosts, McQuack306 and
Debbie G. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at BossKey_podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you like, you can also follow us personally at McQuack306 and Jesse_Fregoso.
Join us next time for another episode of the Boss Key Podcast.
Ha ha ha!